what it is it's market research, right? Market research. So let me see. Google Maps, Austin. Okay, and I'm staying. Let's see. Let me zoom in. I'm staying on Lake Travis. Let me show you where I'm at here. And I'm really, honestly, I lived in Austin for many, many years, but my God, I drove around Austin like, what is going on here? It's like just going crazy here, right? I have no idea what's going on here. I haven't lived here in like 20 years. So essentially, I was like, let me just drive around. So you can see we're here. I'm in the Hudson Bend area. This is where we're at right now. And so one day we drove all the way through this area and drove all the way around and found so many storage facilities, older ones, newer ones, just really got to know the lay of the land all through this area in here. We drove all the way up in here. Actually, we drove all the way up through here and here and into these little areas so I could see where everything was. And then another day we drove all the way to Marble Falls, which is right here. And we just kind of stayed inside this 71. So we did not, we came back home on the 71. But to get there, we drove all the way up in this area to Marble Falls. Tomorrow, we're doing like the Marble Falls. Here's Lake Buchanan, you see. So Marble Falls, Horseshoe Bay, and then if we can, we'll see if we can make it up to Lake Buchanan. I'm not sure because there's a lot of storage facilities in this area, and there's a lot of boat and RV parking, and there's all kinds of stuff, right? And then one day, if we don't make it, we'll drive this whole lake and we'll just hang out, probably stop in the middle. We've been stopping in the middle halfway, and there's like, in Texas, there's like swimming holes there everywhere. So you can stop and like take a dip, and then you can get back on the road and go, which is really nice. We've been doing that. And so it's kind of a vacation, but it's also research. And then another day, the very last day that we're here, we're going to come around this way and we're going to drive all through here and just check it out as well too. Just check all this area out. And so that's like a week's worth of driving. Oh, I'm sorry. And then one day I had to speak at the San Antonio RIA. I spoke down here last week. So we drove, and this was I loved this trip so much. I mean, I just love Texas so much. But we drove from where we're at right here, and we drove down this road right here. And we drove like down here to here, and then we went all the way like to Canyon Lake. Canyon Lake has way too many boat and RV storage, way too much. It's like ridiculous amount of boat and RV storage, and which is good. So I learned that by going there and looking, and you guys know I live in Georgia. That's where I live. I don't live in Texas. I traveled here to do market research, to learn about where I want to be building. And the truth of the matter is, and you guys can do the exact same thing. So the way that I'm thinking is exactly how you need to be thinking, right? Because most of us cannot afford to build. I'm not going to build. First of all, Atlanta is saturated. Like there's way too much storage. And then even on the outskirts, I mean, all this area into Georgetown and all this area here, I mean, it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. It's too expensive. It's too much, right? But when you get out into this land right here, when you get out into this area, and I'm going to tell you that Austin is coming out this way, all right? It's coming this way. I mean, it's getting pushed out here. If you know anything about Austin, like it is just it's going to come out here. A lot of people, we drove into a subdivision here in Dripping Springs, a brand new subdivision going up with like huge, big ass houses, like 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom houses, 3,600 square feet, huge houses on like huge big acre lots. And they were starting at $725,000, starting. And that is right. I mean, the 290, and this is not very far. Let's just say you do work like in this area. This is like a 30-minute drive. It's not very far at all. I mean, I live in Atlanta. Everywhere you drive in Atlanta is at least 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, no matter what. All right. So this is really not that far. And this is the mindset of a lot of people, because there is a lot of people moving to these little towns right here. There's not a lot going on here. Like it's kind of slowly coming out this way. it's really, it's interesting, but there's a huge big development here. And then also down here, so many developments, right? So you could be like living in this area down here, or, you could just drive and live down here. So we just really, honestly, the truth is that we are spending, 2 weeks out here. Like, we're 15 days out here, and 5 of those days are driving. Essentially, 5 to 6 days are just essentially driving around and really getting to know the areas that we're interested in. And I'm the type of person, honestly, like, I'm gonna live where I want to live, or I'm gonna have places where I want to like vacation and stuff. So I'm like, I know if I'm going to move to Austin, it's going to be somewhere on the lake somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let's just do some, I can always buy a house here, build something out here if I wanted to move out here. And then just, from here to here, this is not even, actually from here, our house to San Antonio, from our house to San Antonio, this far. This distance from here, coming down here to here to here, this is like an hour and 30 minutes. It's not very far at all. So I always tell everybody, when you're doing market research, when you're trying to figure out where you want to be and what you want to be doing, 2 hours is not that far from your house, right? So